Hello, chosen ones. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kish Johnson. Welcome to a moment of change. I want when you come on this channel for you to come with a mindset that whatever I hear today is something that's going to make my life better. I have made that commitment to you that once I open this camera, I am going to bring you transformation tips, things that are revealed by the Holy Spirit, because this is also a faith-based channel, a Christian channel for those who God has called to do His perfect will in the earth. So if you're gifted and anointed and chosen to serve, your life has been marked by certain experiences that you feel. No doubt this is processing you for your purpose. You've gotten a dream. There was a vision. There was a prophecy. There is a calling. There is an anointing, and you know that you are made for more. You know that your duty is to serve. Then I invite you to let this be your new home. If this sounds like something that resonates with you, I want you to hit like first of all and leave me a comment. I need to see who I am here for, and I need to hear what you have to say. And I also need you to feel free to hit the subscription button. But there's also a duty that we all have, which is to share the goodness of God, to share what we think that is great for us. We do it all the time. We talk about a favorite food that we like. We talk about a store that we just found. We talk about anything great that we have experienced in this life. We want to share that. That's who we are. We're created to share our experiences, good and bad. So we invite you to share this channel so we can have others subscribe, especially those who are just like you, chosen but stuck somewhere, chosen but need guidance, needing to grow, and just want to find the right mentorship. Today, I'm here to introduce you to a guest who I also believe is a chosen one, Dr. Joan Good. She is a publisher, she's an author, a business coach, she's a mentor, she's a speaker, keynote speaker. So you have business coaches who only talk business, but she talks business and Bible. So I like her. She's one of the best persons I could find to come and talk to us about this topic, because we have to start businesses. Chosen ones usually have to end up there because 9 to 5 is not a very fitting place for us. Those are things we have to talk about on this channel. My guest speaker today is going to speak to us about 3 really important things we have to think about and we have to do from the moment of knowing that we were called for a thing, the next step to starting the business, and then third, how do we get the funding for it? What do we really need to do here? We're going to hear from Joan right now. So tune in very closely. On some things that I know you need answers to. Number one, what is the mindset of how to turn your gifts and your dreams into income?
Thank you for having me. One of the first things that I would say is you have to first know that you're called to do a thing. I think one of the errors that I've seen, in coaching people and in just observing others is that a lot of times people are functioning, but they're not succeeding because they're not in the role that they were called to. They don't understand that there's a difference with a dream and a call, right? You can have a dream, but the call is different. Joseph had a dream. His dream was that the corns that he pulled up, right, the other corns bowed to them. That was his dream. Joseph's calling, however, was to go ahead and preserve the posterity of his people, right? So it wasn't the bowing down. So sometimes we see the bow down and we say, okay, I'm called to lead people. Why? Because truth to be told, and this happens a lot in kingdom and church setting, a lot of us, we would not have gotten the titles, the acumen, and the adoration in normal settings that we get in the church. So a lot of people flock to the church to get a title because that's the only way I can get people to revere me. If you take yourself and go into the work world, ain't nobody gonna see you, because you have to come with something. You have to come with depth. You have to come with research. You have to come knowing what you're about. You have to be an expert. And so as Christians, we try to do that in the business realm where we believe, okay, once I get a dream, then people are going to bow down. That's not how it goes. After Joseph got his dream, he had to go through the whole thing called process. And that's a word that is so loosely used where we talk about process, but I don't think we understand the depth of a process. You know, when you are, when you're on the threshing floor, threshing this is what they do. You're stamped on, you go through hardship, you go through so many things before you come out on the other side. And many times when we get a dream, we believe the hardship is, okay, so I started and nobody bought. That's not the hardship. The hardship is, what are you doing to ensure that you're putting in the work? And when you get the hits, what is the continuity plan that you have? I was in a mentorship class last night and I spoke about the continuity plan. Have you put an exit plan together so that your business can continue when risks happen? And not just natural disasters, but risks like no revenue, your system crash, social media crash, your website crash, people put a bad review. You know, what is the continuity plan that you have in place? So I think of the long way, or the short way of saying what I just said, the long way is you first have to know the dream different from the calling, because the dream is what sets the calling in place. But the calling is something totally different.
Right. Love that. Understanding the difference of the dream and the call.
The dream can mean one thing, but the calling is something different. Is that making sense? Right?
It is, yes.
The dream can mean that you are supposed to lead in a particular area, but the calling means now that you've gotten the dream, you have to put work into the dream to get to the calling, because it's not a destination, it's a journey. You keep putting in the work into the dream.
Absolutely. So I'm seeing the mindset here that you're sharing, that I'm going to have to do the work. Don't expect that entitlement that you would get from your little small organization, because only here, so you can be whatever rise to the top and be the top person, but you're not qualified anywhere else. You've thought about it, and your mind is now in the right place with understanding that my dream leads to my call. But what do I do next? I'm talking about funding on this channel, because we don't know what to do where money is concerned. It takes me to a place where I have no money. I just have my paychecks coming in, because most people are leaving off their jobs. What can I do to fund my dream?
That's a big one. That's a big one. And that's multifaceted. And I'm going to answer it in two different ways. Can I tell you, right? And put your stones down. You don't need money to start a business. Can I tell you that? I'm going to explain what I mean. And then you said, what would be the next step? The next step is not necessarily funding, but I'll walk you through the process, right? So when I say you don't need money to start a business, I'm going to tell you exactly how many businesses I've started without money, zero money. So yesterday, let's go back to the mentorship class. If you need business mentorship, you need to connect with me. So let's go back to the mentorship class. I was explaining to them, right, that I was at home and I saw a Home Depot truck pulled up, right? Now, you can rent trucks from Home Depot and some other place for like $25 a day. And I'm like, I thought maybe the person missed their turn and they were just turning around, but no, they stopped out there for a while. And someone exited and they dropped a package off. Now, it was a delivery that I was waiting on. And I was like, that's smart. Like, this person is delivering for another company, but they rented a truck, maybe because their car was down or whatever. And I'm thinking about it, how many times do we have small businesses in our local area that need delivery services, right? And you're home, you don't have money, you don't know what to do, you're looking to start something. How many times have people taken up their phones to make actual phone calls, send emails? Hey, what delivery service do you use? How much do you pay for delivery? Can I match that, right? And take that, go rent a truck for $25 per day. It means that your overhead would only be $25 plus whatever gas you'd have to buy. You do these deliveries for local companies companies are out there looking for resources, but there is none. And this is this grand idea that you could do this for a company. Now, if you start doing this, you gotta let me know, right? Let me know. But ideas come to us every day, but how many people are really thinking, oh, how do I go about? So to answer your question, one of the first things when you get a dream is not to get the money, because you can't fund what you don't know. The first thing to do is to research and find out how many people need what it is that you just dreamt about. How many local people need to deliver a thing? Somebody ordered a hat from you. Is it better to have somebody deliver it down the street rather than going to the post office, or rather than taking time from what you could do to earn another maybe $200 per hour to go deliver that? Is there a service that provides this? You see what I'm going? So other businesses that I've started without money, I'm going to tell you this. I have started so many times without money. I see a need, right? I do the research. If I find more than 5 people that need what I have the solution for, I create the solution first, then pitch it to those people. Then when that money come in, I take that money to pump in the business. Does that make sense? So let's say I see people complaining all the time that they don't know how to get funding for business. Yes, let's use that. Let's be very appropriate and natural. They don't have the means to get funding, right? Let's say I know 3 funding resource, and I know 3 bank managers, or I know a couple of grants that are out there, right? The fact that they're complaining means they haven't taken the time to research. So here it is, I'm going to sell them my time. So this then is my gift, right? I have the time, plus I have the gift of research, or I have the gift of gab, or I have the gift of collaboration. So I go and I put a document together, right? A funding ebook, or whatever you want to call it, right? A funding coaching program. I price it $2.99, right? I go to these same people, I tap into that, whether it's going to be a Facebook group, somebody I saw on Instagram, whatever. I tap into that and I start advertising. It didn't take me any money to start that, right? 3 people buy, right? At $2.99. That's $900, almost $1,000. Now I get that $1,000. All I need to do is to flip that and see how I can maximize that 1,000. Once I start maximizing that, boom, I start doing some Facebook or Instagram ads to say, hey, I have this funding information. I've heard you. I've seen all the questions. Here is this information that I've put together. Click the link, right? And you start selling. It didn't take you any money to start that. It took no money.
That was free.
It was free.
Yeah.
So the first thing you need to do is to identify a need, then identify the people who have that problem. Then the third thing to do is to regurgitate the problem. It's like having a sore. Like if you have a cut and you keep picking at it, what's going to happen? It's going to break out. So you have to keep picking at the problem that your target people have. So they realize that they need a Band-Aid for that wound. And where are they going to get the Band-Aid from? You. So what happened is that sometimes we create a product or a service, and instead of selling the transformation that we give, we sell the product. People are tired. They're bombarded every day by different people who are saying that they're this, that, and they don't want to see another thing. But if you keep picking at the problem, if you keep reminding them, hey, you're overweight and the doctor says you're going to die. Do you know that these problems are what people, have when they're overweight? Do you know the number one heart, killer in women is that. When you just keep identifying the problem, right, they'll realize, hey, I need to get this problem fixed, right? So you talk about, so you're 2 things. You talk about your transformation and you dig into the problem. And I would say the third thing you have to do is to learn how to communicate, because sometimes we're talking, but we're not communicating. Just because you're talking, you're communicating to the people. So you're saying all the nice things, but they're not hearing you because you haven't learned fully how to communicate the transformation that you have, right? Then after you do that, if you want to go to funding, so let's cover funding. But I just wanted to show you that you can start a business without having no money. By first,
very valuable information.
Yes. By identifying the solution first, then the people who needs that. Sometimes the blunder to Kish is that people believe that posting on social media is marketing or it's communicating.
Yes.
And it's not. So a lot of people would say, boy, I'm tired. I post the whole month I post and nobody responded. Nobody engaged. Hello, you're in Mark Zuckerberg's house. He decides who show up to your party.
Yeah.
This is why you have to get your own platform, right? Don't depend on Instagram and Facebook. They sometimes they're not working. They go down. If they go down,
True.
what is the continuity plan that you have? You have to make sure you have people's email addresses and their phone numbers. God forbid if something happens, how are you going to reach out to your clients, right? So building your email list is very important. It's very important. I gave my students a challenge recently to make $1 million in 1 week, right? Yes. Every time I said that, that's the reaction, and that's the very reaction.
A tough one.
That's the very
1
reaction.
week
In 1 week. That's the very reaction they had in the
mentorship. Why am I
mentorship.
not in this challenge? Let's go. Let's go.
Well, you're not in my mentorship. This is for the mentorship people, right? And I made sure to do tracking on the website because, you know, I had to show them the back end. When you get an order on Wix, it says, congratulations, you just got an order. So all of those emails were coming in. So, you know, I do marketing. So I created the $5,000 marketing package, right? Giving them billboard, TV, radio, everything that they would need. Now, this package is valued at about 25. I put it at the 5,000 point. I asked the question, how many of these packages would we need to sell, you know, because I'm including them, to make $1 million? And everybody was like, 2,000. I'm like, no, check again. Only 200.
Yeah.
Only 200. Sometimes we make it seem as if the task is an elephant task when it's really just a little mongoose task, small, right? But we're not looking at the numbers. If you break your numbers down and you have a revenue goal, it's easy to meet your goal if you go bite size by bite size. So what we did was we did some Instagram ad, some Facebook ads, and email ads, because email marketing, because we had to compare what was working more than the others. On Facebook, I got about, let's say about 40 orders. I don't remember how much right now. Instagram, about 35. The bulk of the orders came from email marketing.
Wow. So it does work, guys.
Of course. Sending out emails every Monday and every Thursday, I believe we send. Every Monday, every Thursday, right? And we showed them how their business will die if they don't market. We didn't just say, hey, we're going to get you. We showed them what will happen when you don't communicate with your people. So before you knew it, small businesses bought the package. A lot of authors bought the package. Several people bought the package. So, you saw some of my clients who were on Essence with me, right? They got one of those $5,000 author marketing package as well. 200 people. And we didn't make it in 7 days, but we made it in like 9 days, which is still good. It's still good, because what I was trying to show them is that $1 million, it sounds like a lot, but it's not. It is not. And it sounds like it's hard, but it is not. But are you willing to put the work in? How many people would have done one Instagram ad, got 2 questions, nobody buy, and just say they're done? You have to, because what we did multiple ads, right? So you have to keep doing what's working. So a great way to fund your own thing if you don't have access to funding, is find something that is needed the most, that people can't pass over. Like if somebody's dying and you have the cure, they're not going to pass you over. So if somebody's business is dying, their book is dying, their marriage is dying, their relationship is dying, find something that will resuscitate life into that. Right? And then you want to make sure that you put some ads out and do your email marketing, you'll get money. But let's talk about funding. Grants are the easiest way to get money that you don't have to pay back. But the problem is it takes a time. I think the number one reason why some people don't get a grant is their statement of need. They have not sent in, like, why should I give you this money? If you're going to tell me your business is new and you want to grow your business, that's not a need. That's a personal need, but that's not a community need. There has to be a community need. How is your business going to make the community better? Too many times, and it goes back to the dream, people make the dream about them versus about the people.
Wow.
And
I like that.
It's about the people. In John 15, Jesus says, if you love me, right, you will love others. it will behoove you to serve them at the highest level with what you have. If you're serving people the value that they need, they will support you. They will support you. But if you're just willy-nilly serving, you're not going to get what you're looking for. If you're not showing up as you promised to show up, you're not going to get what you're looking for. If you advertise that you are, let's say you advertise that you're a business coach, but every time you show up, you're showing food, you're not showing up in your power.
People in your power, that's true.
Yeah. People didn't come to you to see food pictures. They came to you to get business information. So they're going to go where they can get it. So a part of showing up in your power is how you show up online and show up to your audience. You'll be amazed how sometimes people get turned off by you if you say you're one thing, but then you're doing something else. They get confused, and confused people don't buy, right?
Yes. People don't support confused people. And for those of you who are multi-talented, do a lot of things, and I tend to be one of those kinds of persons. And now I'm narrowing down my life because I'm realizing that system does not work. So I started telling my husband recently, listen, you're going to have to start advertising your own food on your own platform, because I need to be focused more on what it is that I'm doing. Because you're right. So many people were coming to buy the food, which was good for him, the traffic, because I have more engagement online. But at the same time, I lost myself on my social media platform. So this is really good stuff here. And I'm transparently sharing it with you guys. We have to stick to the main thing, because if I go on Dr. Joan Good's page, I'm going to see her all about the business of helping the people with building their brands. And this is what she's talking by experience. She lives this life. So wonderful nuggets here. Okay. So the personality trait that's needed to be a successful entrepreneur.
So there are several personality traits, but there are foundational things that entrepreneurs need to have to be successful. And one of the foundational things is they have to have grit. They have to have that stick-to-ity. They have to know these are people who, as we say in church, can take a licking and keep on ticking. Yeah, if you are fickle, you cannot be in entrepreneurship, because you don't meet your goal every day. People are not nice every day. You don't wake up every day and want to work. So you cannot be fickle. You have to have that broad back. If somebody says something, it's no big deal. You know, if a client is unhappy, you go and you fix it, and there's no hard feeling kind of thing, you know. So you have to have that. The second thing you have to have is you have to make sure, you have to really, really, really make sure that you understand your assignment. You said it earlier, you have to stay focused. A successful entrepreneur is one who is focused. If you look at all the Mark Zuckerberg, the Warren Buffett, they stay on path. They don't revere. Whatever you knew Warren Buffett for when he was in his 50s is the same thing he's doing in his 80s. He is focused. Right. So you have to stay focused. Focus wins. Another personality trait is someone who is not quick to be indoctrinated. If every little wind come, if you have itching ears, you cannot be a successful entrepreneur, because you cannot look at the predictions. You have to look at the signals. You cannot look at the predictions, look at your business signals, right? Another personality trait is you cannot be prideful. You cannot have ego, because you're always learning. You always have to be learning. You always have to submit yourself to somebody who knows more to teach you, and don't feel like you have to compete. So ego, you cannot have ego. Jesus showed you, as high as you are, you have to be willing to get down and wash feet. In other words, you have to serve the lowest of the lowest. So ego is out of it. Have to be trustworthy, have to know how to keep their word. They have to know how to honor honor the resource. The main resource is God, right? The main source is God. You are just a resourcer. So you have to know how to honor God. And I'll say the last thing is somebody with discernment, because you have to know the things and the people, the tears that came to take you off course, to grab the word from you that God has given you, and the ones who you're supposed to keep, right? And two, with discernment, it helps you to know your top 5, because you know you are the sum total of the top 5 people that you associate yourself with business-wise, right? Not talking about personally. Your personal life is your personal life. But you have to have that discernment. Okay, I need to I need to know, okay, do I connect myself with a banker? Do I connect myself with a lawyer? Who are the top 5 people that I need to have in my circle? If you're trying to be a speaker, all of your friends can't be listeners. You have to find a speaker that you can become friends with and look at how they do things. If you want to go into business coaching, find yourself a business coach, and you're not copying them, you're not competing, you are connecting with them. So what's on the head runs down. You can understand, you can watch, you can say, okay, this is how, so that you have to have that kind of a discernment. So those are some of the personality traits that I would say that you need to have.
I don't know how you were able to give such extraordinary traits in less than 5 minutes, but again, this is why you are excellent and one of the leaders in your field. We're grateful. I'm going to keep them wanting to come back. So we're not going to ask you any more questions because they need to really sit with this information, chew it over, and do their good homework. So Dr. Joan Good, we thank you for visiting this channel to help all our chosen ones to figure it out, because too many of us are just still stuck. Thank you so much. Any final words?
Well, I'd say, you know what? In order to find out what your calling is, you have to go to the master who did the calling.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to go to the master. He's the one who gave the calling. Yeah.
All right, so guys, he has the manual on us. He has the manual on what we're supposed to be doing and the timeline. So you shouldn't be stuck if you have that relationship. And what I loved about what you said is the connection. The value and the money is in the connection. And so our connection has opened up this opportunity. Listen, y'all, let me tell you, if you listen to what we're saying here and put it into practice, get 5 people on your team, as she says, who can really take you to what your ideal main thing is. Get these people on track with you because they can help you. And sometimes you don't even have to have money to do the things you're worrying about. Too many of us are always talking about the money, the money, the money. We cannot get started. So again, the connection, the relationships, and everything she said is all that you need. Thank you so much, Joan.